and you're with Spaceman Africa on LocalnLive, and we are live in Monday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in on your day off, much appreciated. And we are blessed today to have some guests in the studio. As I mentioned before, we have Katrina Maree, who is here to talk about her various musical projects, and she's brought along some moral support. She's brought her son, Connor, who is also here in the studio. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. And I believe you've just driven up from Melbourne, especially for this interview, yes?
Absolutely.
Yep.
we couldn't miss it, but we had to check out Melbourne, you know, long weekend and all, and it was rather nice weather for about half a day, and then it was 4 seasons, as you can imagine.
Right, yep. Which, you know, you're probably well used to living in Canberra. But you're here to talk about music, not the weather, and your various different projects. Before we dive into your different projects, let's go back to the beginning. I was reading your bio. It said you played music when you were at school. You had some good music teachers who guided you. But then when you left high school, you had a 15-year break. So what brought you back to music after 15 years?
Well, you know, after school, obviously, you have work, you have marriage, you have children, and all of those things. And sometimes music becomes a little bit on the wayside. So it sort of took a very big back seat. And then when I separated from my ex, I knew that there was something missing. And so I literally dusted off my old bass guitar that I played in high school, still had it, an Onyx Silver Starburst, and started working out what I needed to do there, and then went and frequented the Canberra Blues Society a little bit just to get back into the feel of things, and then I stumbled into a covers band for a little while, and then I decided to join an originals band, which people probably know in its current format as the Black Souls. And at the same time, I realised that it was time for my solo stuff to come out as well. And so I wrote a couple of songs and got them recorded around about the same time that we were starting to get traction with the Black Souls. So.
Right, and you say the bass guitar is your primary instrument, but you play a bit of keys as well. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. So I had a very nice choir teacher,
right,
way back when I was doing choir in primary school, and she realised that I liked the look of the piano, but she also knew that I was pretty broke and couldn't afford the lessons. So she managed to do some sort of deal with the piano teacher, and one day a week after school, before I caught the bus, he'd teach me a couple of things on the piano. So that was very, very good, very appreciative, and that gave me the foundation for music.
And so where did the bass come into it? What drew you to the bass guitar?
That was in high school. So in year 7, I picked up the flute. One time in band camp. No, nothing like that. And
we have children present.
Yes, we do. Yep. That's exactly right. So I played that for a year in the school band and that, and then I realised that I was looking over the bass players and the guitar players, and they could eat lunch. You know, you can't do that with a woodwind instrument when you're playing it. Whereas, you know, I was a bit jealous of these guys that could, you know, eat lunch and play at the same time. So I said to my music teacher, I don't want to play flute anymore. I want to play bass. And she's turned around.
All based on being able to eat lunch.
Absolutely. And so she turned around and she goes, but I need a flute player in the band. And she goes, I'll tell you what, I'll do you a deal. And I said, what? She goes, play flute for another year in the band and I'll teach you how to play bass. And that was it. And that was the start of playing bass for the rest of my school time.
Right, and haven't looked back.
Absolutely not.
So then I'm curious about your songwriting. If the bass is your primary instrument, do you start with bass lines or do you come up with melodies on the keyboard? How does the song process work for you?
I'm a bit of a tinkler. So when I say tinkler, I mean I just sort of play around with things depending on the mood I'm in. So I might just sit down on the keys and just play. You know, I might be sad or I might be happy or I might be frustrated, and I just play, and then something will come to me and I go, oh, I like that. And then I'll explore that a little bit more and keep going. And it's very similar to what I do with the bass as well. I just sort of, I guess I play emotions more than any sort of structure.
Yeah, interesting. I'm a songwriter myself. Some of my songs, I write a bass line and then write the whole song based around the bass line, which is pretty good way to do it now and then. All right, what else? So we've got one of your songs here we're going to play today called Footsteps. That's your latest single. Now, in your bio, you said it was entirely produced in your home studio.
Yes, it was.
What was that experience like?
That was very different. So I played around a little bit with the digital audio workstation, which is what you use in order to record music on your own computer. And I had played around a little bit, but not really done anything official. And so we decided, well, it might be a bit cheaper. Let's give it a shot and see if we can do it. And so I recorded down, you know, the bass line, the vocals and things like that. And then we brought in Steve from the Black Souls, and I said, oh, can you do some drums on this? He's like, yeah. And he plays electric drums. So that was a fun day trying to figure out how the drums talk to the digital audio workstation, my computer, and how it all worked. But we finally got it together. And then I got a good friend of mine, Laurent, down at Rogue Ascent Music in Cooma, who did the mixing and mastering, because I'm just not quite there. I can record, but still not so good with the mixing and mastering yet.
And were there any unexpected collaborations, like maybe noisy neighbours or the dog barking or birds chirping outside that you've kept in?
We seem to be really lucky. Mm-hmm. And Lauren actually turned around and said they were really, really good recordings. So he could do a lot with it, and we got the production out of it. So I was very happy with how it came about.
Excellent. Well, we're going to play it now so everyone can hear how well it came out. This is Footsteps by my guest here today, Katrina Maree. Hope you enjoy it.
Some memories as you held your hand in mine. I wish I could go back in time. Footsteps as I'm dreaming, as you're laying next to me. You're not here with me. Was it all a dream? You hear the beside me. Am I destined not to love ever
At 2XXFM 98.3, your support is important to us. Become part of your community station by subscribing, donating, sponsoring or volunteering. Visit us at 2XXFM.org.au.
That's right, you're on 2XX 98.3 FM, you're on Local and Live, and we are live. You're with Spaceman Africa, and I'm with my guests, Katrina Maree and her son, Connor. Now, Connor, I saw you playing the air piano there along. I'm guessing you know this song very well.
Way too well.
Way too well? Too much?
Yeah.
But I'm sure you like it, yes?
Yeah, on and off.
On and off. I thought maybe with your mum here you might feel obligated to, give some nice compliments. But as usual, the children are very honest. That's good.
Absolutely, they are.
Do you have a favourite song, Connor, of Katrina Maree?
No.
No,
Really?
no, not really.
You're all about the same.
All right. Well, let's talk to you, Katrina Maree. You can plug your music more glowingly. All right. We're going to talk about your band, the Black Souls, now. And Canberra music scene is a small world, and I'm sure many of our listeners are aware that you lost your life partner and musical partner Bart last year, who was a member of the Black Souls. Now, the Black Souls have got their first gig tomorrow as a duo. How has the journey been since the loss of Bart and having your gig tomorrow?
It's been very tough. The Black Souls is actually Bart's project, and we released the album Heartbreak and Redemption in December last year. And shortly just before that came out, we realised that Bart was quite sick. And at the time, we were hoping that everything would come good. We did a last gig on the 23rd of December at the Potbelly, and unfortunately, that was his last gig. So he passed away on Valentine's Day of all days this year, which was quite tough. And I sort of went underground for quite a few months until I could just sort of emotionally deal with not only losing a partner, but also losing one of those pillars of support musically as well. And going back to either the bass or the piano at the time was quite difficult because it would bring back memories of all of those wonderful times that I will never experience again with Bart. So I finally emerged and sort of getting back to getting ready. Steve, my drummer, was quite instrumental with that, and he just called me out of the blue a few months after Bart went and said, right, it's time, let's go jam.
Right, yep.
And so we did, and it was quite cathartic.
Yeah, quite healing, I imagine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
As music is.
It was difficult, but it was healing, and we sort of included Bart's memories as we do, because we joke a lot and quite morbid jokes. But he's always there in spirit when we play, and that's why it's so special to be able to publicly come in with the Battle of the Bands tomorrow night at Smith's, which is our first hit out as a duo, as the Black Souls. So it's only going to be quite short. It's only 3 songs, but we do need your support to make sure that we can try and get through to the next round and then play some more for you. So we've got 2 songs that you may know, and then there's one song that is not yet recorded, and quite an interesting song. So if you want to hear that exclusively, come down to Smith's, starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and you get to see us, you get to see Adventure Street, Tuesday World, who else have we got there? Exit Strategy, and there's a couple of other bands as well. Like, you get 6 bands in one night. Like, that's just amazing. So come on down.
Yeah, we'll plug that again a bit later on. I want to go back. Was there a conversation between you and Steve? Was there any doubt that you wouldn't continue, or what was the conversations like? Well, let's just continue as a duo. Was that how it went?
I think when just before Bart went, he turned around and he said, I want you to keep the Black Souls going. And I remember telling Steve that after he went, and Steve's just turned around and gone, how on earth are we going to keep going and find a guitarist like Bart? And I said, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do this. And we thought, well, we'll just jam with ourselves for a little while and see what happens. And then we actually liked the way it was working with just bass and drums. And so we thought, well, if we find a guitarist, great, but if we don't, it's not a big deal. And we'll do something different and interesting, which is bass and drums, which you don't see very often. So that's why we decided to go that way, and that's what we're doing now.
Right, I'm looking forward to hearing it. So for those people that don't know the Black Souls, how would you describe the musical style?
Definitely hard rock. Since Steve and I have taken over, you still got that hard rock element, but probably moving towards more, I guess, in a way, a progressive rock feel rather than just straight hard rock now.
You want to come in on that one, Connor?
It's getting more like classical music now.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
It's far
Yes, it
from
is.
classical. Children, what do you do with them, right?
I mean, any music over what, 20 years old would be classical for you, would it?
Pretty much.
Yeah, right. Yep. So yes, tomorrow you've got the first gig as the duo. How are preparations and how are you feeling?
We're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
So we've been rehearsing for months now, and yeah, we're feeling pretty hopeful and pretty confident that we'll bring on a good show tomorrow night. And yeah, we're very excited.
I mean, it's a great forum to be playing as well. I mean, this whole idea of the Department of Rock and having public service bands playing in a Battle of the Bands style competition, I guess it would be, as you say, it's just 3 songs. You can ease yourself in nicely. The crowd will be very supportive, so it's quite a good platform to start with.
That's exactly right. And look, I went to the Heat 1 last week and it was amazing. The crowd was just, the place was full. Everybody was excited. They were cheering the bands on, and the quality of talent that comes from these bands is just incredible. So it's definitely something that there's a little bit of everything mixed in. So it's definitely worth watching.
For sure. I forgot what I was going to say, but I've got one question. We're going to play a Black Souls song. It's called I Don't Know If I Like You. Now, I'm sure this was written a little while ago. Has that now changed? Do you know if you like this person or not?
I'm not sure.
The jury's still out.
On stage, we had a bit of banter that Bart would always say, oh, it's definitely about him. But it never was about him. It was about somebody else. And I don't think that's changed so much. But it could be about any person that you're really not sure about. Okay,
right, yes. So if you've just joined us, you're on LocalnLive. You're with Spaceman Africa and my guest Katrina Maree. Her son Connor is also in the room. And we will shortly play a Black Soul song. I just wanted to ask also, after you've got a gig coming up 26th of October at Potbelly as well.
Absolutely. So this gig is the Halloween Howlers special. So this is Halloween Howlers number 3. There's been 2 other ones in previous years. And we've got a great lineup. We've got Fabulous Contraption coming down. We've got Slowbeard, great local band. And we've also got Dead Lazarus, which is another great local band, as well as me in solo format. So you're going to get a wide range of music there, which is going to be just fun. And also you have to dress up. It's going to be, Halloween style, dress up in your favourite Halloween stuff and come along and have a really good night. And also, at the Potbelly, there's Slowbeard whiskey now too.
Right.
Yes.
Is that very heavy, like their music?
I'm not sure. I think we're going to have to try it and see what it's like.
Yep. So that, once again, that's the 26th of October at Belly, Saturday night. Doors are at 7 or something like that.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Yep. And that's you as a solo act?
Yeah, so I'll be the first solo act up, and then, you know, we will get heavier and heavier as we go through, as you do. And it's going to be a really fun night. I'm really excited.
And then, of course, tomorrow night is the Black Souls playing as a duo for the first time, the Department of Rock. I think that starts around the 7:30.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yep.
If there's still tickets available, you better hurry up. The thing I was going to say was, if the Department of Rock really interests you, make sure to join Dave Baratta on the Lunchbox programs on Thursday and Friday. He often has the bands come in and play live. He has Madam Secretary Leanne coming in to talking about the different bands. So if make sure you tune in if Department of Rock is your jam. So what's the longer term goal for Katrina Maree? What's happening next year?
Well, obviously I've had a bit of a hiatus. So I'm just starting to get back into the throes where I will start recording very shortly.
Right, yeah.
I've got a backload of songs. I've got about 6 or 7 songs, both for Black Souls and Katrina Maree, that I need to record. So I think that you will be seeing a few releases next year.
Oh, delightful. Recorded in your home studio.
That's the plan, yes.
Okay. Good grief, Moncrief. All right, and where can people find you online? Are you on all the socials?
Yeah, so I'm katrinamareemusic.com.au. Alternatively, you can go to my Facebook page at Katrina Maree Music or my Instagram page at Katrina Maree Music.
Great. So get online, check out Katrina Maree. She's got at least 2 EPs. Two EPs you can go back and listen to, and then all the Black Souls music as well.
Absolutely.
There's plenty to keep you entertained and interested. Now, we've got time for one more random question. I've got 20 random questions here. Before we came on air, Katrina Maree chose number 13, which is, what's your guilty pleasure song that you secretly love but wouldn't admit publicly?
Well, I can't admit it publicly then, can I?
It's just you and I. No one's listening.
Yes. Well, we'll put the cone of silence down, and you haven't actually heard this, but my guilty pleasure is Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. And the reason that's so special to me is when my son was a little baby, it was a really warm summer's night, and he wouldn't settle. And so, of course, you start off, as you do, turn every thought into a song. And on a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. And, so...
It's great for singing along, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And he went to sleep, which was great.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming in today, both of you. And especially on Public Holiday Monday, we're going to go out with a Black Soul song. It's called I Don't Know If I Like You. What's this one all about? Oh, you mentioned earlier.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
Sorry.
But that's okay. Thank you very much, Spaceman Africa and 2XXFM.
No worries. So here we go. I Don't Know If I Like You.
You got, I am under your spell. my life back on track. It's just me and the rest of the world. I know that I don't like you. Time surely can tell. What you see is what you get. I'm out the carousel.
Did you read what I read? Did it make you mourn? Saying less is better when you let it go. Did you see the ultimate? Did it lay you low? How do you feel to fight it when you're on your own? Don't let it go. And never show. Won't you please describe it? Tell me what is wrong. Can you see the problem when it takes its toll? Let me guess, it's violence. Just needs a good home. And you try to deny it. You never fool your own. Don't let it go. And never show. Did you read what I read? Did it make you mourn? Saying less is better when you let it go. Did you see the ultimate? Did it lay you low? How do you feel to fight it when you're on your own? Don't let it go. And never show. Don't let it go. And never show.
You're listening to 2XXFM, People Powered Radio.